start thinking about quality of life, etc. And the comment I made, it would have to be perfect. NFL has always been an intrigue. I had some opportunities in the past, but just wasn't the right time, and then wasn't the right situation. We have to be in position to go win a game, and I believe this is the place.
That's the voice of Urban Meyer, the new Jaguars head coach, announced last night, introduced today on a Zoom media call, and this is Rapid Reactions of Urban Meyer. Welcome in J.P. Shadrick, Ashlyn Sullivan, Brian Sexton, John Oehser. We've got a lot to discuss here. Urban Meyer, the third winningest head coach in college football history by percentage, 3 national championships, 2 different schools to get that done. One of the great college coaches of all time is now coming to the National Football League for a different challenge. It was the perfect job for him, he said last night, and reiterated again today. Ashlyn, I don't think there would have been much of anything else to get him out of the analyst chair at Fox Sports, and I think he's fired up for this opportunity, Ashlyn.
Yes, he did say years ago that he would not leave the job he was in unless it was a perfect opportunity, and needless to say, this is pretty much perfect. And the reason he's brought here is because he's a winner, a 3-time national champion, like you said, has won 85% of the college games he's coached. And he told you last night, which I thought was pretty interesting, he wants to treat these Jaguars players great, not good. And he hasn't even been here 24 hours, and he already has a plan to do that with hopes of an upgraded facility and all kinds of coaching changes and bringing in a great coaching staff. I just got word from the Jaguars ticket office. We are hearing the buzz ourselves, but apparently these Jaguars ticket members are working hard and answering phones. Season ticket percentages are up just 50% by yesterday after the announcement. And this time last year, 8 times what season tickets were last year. So yes, Urban Meyer, safe to say, was the clear-cut choice for the Jaguars head coaching job.
John, it's a lot to digest, obviously, but Ashley made a couple good points there about treating the players well, still driving them, but still treating them great. And then he is all over the staff. That's important to how you treat those players. So getting an elite staff is key for him.
Well, it's huge. And I think part of that, he alluded to it when he spoke to the media. He's not going to be the same coach, he said, when he was running around nuts, when he was at Bowling Green or when he was at Utah. He is an older, I would presume he would say he is a wiser, I wouldn't say kinder, gentler, but he is going to let the staff do the job. He's going to insist that they do the job for a variety of reasons, one of which is his health, which he stepped away from a couple of jobs. So I think that's why, maybe a small reason why the staff's so important. But I was just intrigued, JP, by what he talked about, the driving the players and treating them right. I was intrigued by his whole philosophy today, the commitment to excellence. When Ashlyn talks about the fans being excited about this, yes, they should be excited about it, but everything we've heard from Urban so far, there's a ton of substance to go along with that flash, and I'll get some ideas later on. That's exciting to me, the fact that he has such a plan and has studied this so much.
It's a big day, obviously, in Jaguars history, Brian. Where does this rank for you?
Well, I can't remember there being such interest and excitement around this franchise since 1995. I mean, I guess you could go to 1997 after they were coming off that playoff run in 96, or in 99 when they loaded up. Look, I thought the Jaguars were going to be relevant because they have the #1 pick, and that's likely to be a quarterback that's going to change the entire paradigm of this franchise. I mean, everything looks different now. We've already forgotten whatever last season was, and it is all forward. The addition of Urban Meyer takes relevance and makes it interesting. It makes it attractive. This is a moment, JP. It's the moment the Jaguars have waited for. The opportunity to draft that franchise-altering quarterback. At any point where they've been high in the draft before, the quarterback hasn't been there. This year, he is there, and that's why Urban Meyer is here. That's why the phones are blowing up. That's why the excitement level is it's through the roof right now, no matter where you go in Jacksonville.
Ashlyn, to have an opportunity with a clean slate and build an organization really in his likeness was what drew him out. We touched on this a moment ago. It took something like that to get him in here, and that's what's going to happen. He's really leading the charge for the Jacksonville Jaguars football side of the organization.
Right, and we're going to wait to hear what lies for the general manager. Will it be Trent Baalke, who is right now the interim GM? They said they're going to make that announcement next week, but I thought it was funny when he said that drafting a quarterback #1 overall in this upcoming draft would be the most important decision, one of them he's made in his entire life. So yes, very important to get this right, and he mentioned some of the top prospects, but of course we all have our eyes on Trevor Lawrence, but safe to say if the Jaguars didn't have the #1 overall pick, it most likely would not be Urban Meyer in that press conference today.
John, Urban and Shad Khan said they were working together to figure out that GM spot. So this is Urban Meyer's world, it seems like. Obviously, Shad Khan owns the team, but you get Urban in here, that type of name, that type of legacy in college, and they're both in the GM search together. That tells you where this thing's going.
Well, I thought we're talking about Urban today, and it's obviously the story. I also thought Shad was interesting when he talked about this, talking about his vision being that this is a coach-centric team and that he got away from that before. Well, when you hire Urban Meyer, it's clearly coach-centric. He talked some about the comments he made last week about Shad having total control. It was clear in the press conference today, this is going to be Urban's thing. This is going to be Urban's franchise, and the GM and Shad will work to support that. I thought that was significant. There were a lot of talk last week about Shad being overly involved and all that. That was outside noise. That was never going to be the case. This is going to be Urban's show with the GM and the owner supporting with full transparency. That's how it's going to look going forward. That's clearly what Shad Khan wants, and he made it clear today.
Brian, now up for Urban Meyer is the staff. We touched on that a moment ago, but it feels like there'll be a mix of guys he was with in college, but he also wants some NFL experience around him that he can rely on and lean on right away.
You know, JP, he can have anybody he wants. The chance to come and work with Trevor Lawrence and the ownership here is, I have no doubt he'll get who he wants. I want to touch on the general manager. And that is, to me, the most important decision left to come. Because if you look at two guys who went from college ranks to pro in the last 15 years, you got Pete Carroll, who has John Schneider making his decisions and picking the players for him. They are in lockstep. They've made the playoffs 9 straight years with the quarterback they chose together in Russell Wilson. Okay. On the other side of the coin, you have Bill O'Brien over in Houston. And you've seen how that turned out. He was fired before the first month of the season was over last year, playing with high draft choices, not working within the structure of the cap. Houston has a lot of challenges in front of them, which just leads us to where Urban Meyer is. The person that he chooses to be his personnel guy, his partner, and to bring him the players that he wants is pivotal. The offensive coordinator, not worried about it, he'll get it. The defensive coordinator, totally not worried about it. He'll get the best coaches. This decision that they make now over who his partner is in building this thing, that's the one that I'm waiting for.
All right, quite a day, quite a couple of days in Jacksonville for the Jaguars, and it's only just beginning. The offseason of fun is underway. Ashlyn Sullivan, Brian Sexton, John Oehser, I'm J.P. Shadrick, and this is Rapid Reactions Urban Meyer.